This is lesson 2-6B from the Algebra Readiness textbook. For this lesson, you will need a sharpened pencil and your notes packet. Work this study guide problem and then press continue to go on with the lesson. All right, in the last lesson, you learned that when you're trying to find out the value of a variable, like this problem, k divided by 11 equals 4, your first step is to draw a line down the equal sign. The second thing you do is focus on the side of the equation that has the variable. In this case, it's the left side. Then you see what operation is happening. Here, I see it's k divided by 11. So I need to use inverse operations to isolate the variable. The inverse of dividing is multiplying. We also learned that we show multiplication by using parentheses. So I'm showing multiply by 11 on both sides of my equal sign. Then I solve. 4 times 11 is 44. Before I'm ready to declare 44 my official answer, I check my work by substituting 44 back into the original equation for the variable. So I write 44 divided by 11, does that equal 4? Then I solve it. 4 equals 4, and it turns out that that is a true, 44 makes the equation true. So that is the solution. Today's learning target is to be able to solve one-step equations by using division. So we have learned about how to solve equations using adding, subtracting, and multiplying. In this example, 5 times r equals negative 20. I can see, that my first step, like every other time, is to draw a line down my equal sign. Then I look at the side with the variable. In this case, it's the left side, 5r. When I have a number standing next to a variable, that indicates multiplication. So ask yourself, what is the inverse of multiplying? Hopefully you came up with division. We do not write divide like this. Instead, we're going to get used to using the fraction bar to indicate division when you're solving equations. So I would like you to write divide by 5 like this. Now, what is 5 divided by 5? Well, that equals 1. So you're left with 1 times r, or just r. Then on the right-hand side, negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. And so, before I'm ready to declare this my answer, I'm going to do the same thing I did with adding, subtracting, and multiplying, and that is to check my answer. 5 times negative 4, does that equal negative 20? Remember your multiplying negative rules. First, I multiply like normal, and I decide if the answer should be positive or negative. Positive times a negative is a negative answer. Negative 20 equals negative 20. Since my answer checks out, I know that negative 4 is correct. Let's try one more together. Step 1, draw a line down the equal sign. Step 2, focus on the side that has your variable, in this case, the left side. Step 3, do the inverse operation. Right now, I've got 7 times x, so I am going to divide by 7 and leave your x alone. Notice I didn't write divide by 7x. That would be wrong. Just divide by 7. Then I take 91 divided by 7, and I get 13. X equals 13. And then make sure you're always checking your work. That's a very, 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 very important thing to be doing. 7 times 13, does it equal 91? Well, 7 times 13 does equal 91. All right, then. So let's quickly review. What are our rules for multiplying and dividing integers? This becomes really important because kids get a little messed up. If the problems have the same sign, if the two numbers have the same sign, you get a positive answer. So positive times positive is positive, negative times negative is positive. If the two numbers have different signs, so if you multiply a negative and a positive together, you get a negative answer. If you forget those, maybe you should take a minute to write those down in your notes so that you can commit it to memory. We also did lesson 1-9 in chapter 1. If you need to go back and watch that lesson video again, go ahead and do that so that it helps you to understand why we have these rules. All right, let's continue on. Solve and check. Line down the equal sign. Look at the left-hand side where it says b times -3. And so now do not add 3. That's a common mistake. What's happening between b and -3? That's multiplying. So we are going to divide using a fraction bar. And I divide both sides by -3. b equals -8. Then check your work. -3 times -8, does that equal positive 24? A negative times a negative is a positive. And so yes, it sure does. Okay, look at this one. Here I've got d times -4. Make sure you're aware that this means multiply. So we are going to do the inverse, which is divide by -4. Do not write the d down there. Just the -4. D stays alone. Then I write what's left. D equals, and then 56 divided by 4 is 14, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive. You can check your work by substituting 14 in for D. So -4 times a positive 14 equals -56. We'll do a little side problem to prove it. And it sure does. Okay. Here we go. Be careful for problems like this. In this problem, let's solve it. I've got a variable on the left, -82 times m. Well, that seems easy. I just am going to do the inverse, which is divide by -82. So then I want to divide the other side by -82. M equals, well, what is 0 divided by -82? The answer is 0. Do not say no solution. The answer is 0. So now let's check it. I can check it to prove it. -82 times some number equals 0. -82 times 0 is 0. So just be careful. Know that those are coming. All right, we're going to solve this. If you were in class, we would do this with a partner, but Juan sells raffle tickets at a charity event for $6 each. How many tickets must he sell if he wants to earn $114? Okay, we need to start by defining our variable. So let's read it one more time and think about what should our variable represent. Juan sells raffle tickets at a charity event for $6 each. How many tickets must he sell to make $114? Well, my variable could easily represent the number of raffle tickets he's selling. So I'm going to use the letter T for tickets. Now I need to make a plan to solve. That's my equation. Well, let me see. If he gets $6 per ticket, how many tickets will it take for him to earn $114? So then, now I'm ready to go to step 3. Solve and label my answer. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. T equals. So then I take 114 divided by 6 and I get 19. 19 tickets. If he sells exactly 19 tickets, he will earn $114. So now, check. Does your answer make sense? Did I answer the problem being asked? Yes. And then substitute the answer back in the original problem to be sure. So $6 a ticket times 19 should give me $114. And it does. Okay, let's review how to do these couple problems. Let's try this. You should see that I have -6 plus x. You always look at the sign before it, so I need to add 6 to both sides. X equals 102. Okay. Try the next one. Pause the video if you need to. Come on back to compare your answer with mine. All right. Don't be afraid to check your work.